An interview with James Kretchmar, the CTO of Akamai. Welcome in the studio, James.
Thank you.
Akamai is, of course, everything to do with content delivery services. You're providing some 10 to 30% of the worldwide web traffic. Can you be more specific? Is it 10%, 30%, or?
Well, actually, it's very difficult to understand what the specific percentage number would be. That's hard to measure and estimate. But we do know we're serving a substantial portion of the traffic on the web. We count among the customers we have on the platform the top 20 global e-commerce sites, the top 20 media and entertainment companies, major banks around the world, software companies, and in the end, 1 out of 3 of the global 500 compiled by Forbes. So we know it's a lot of the traffic, and certainly it's something you use every day. Even though you're not aware, we're kind of in the background.
Yeah. We hear a lot that video is eating all the bandwidth today of the web traffic. Do you have some figures about that? Do you have some ideas?
Well, what we do know is that the online video consumption is growing, and it's a very strong growth, and it's for 2 reasons. One is that there's an increased consumption of content online or using web technologies as opposed to in front of the television, although it might be a smart connected TV. And then the other reason is that people are watching at much higher quality rates than they were before. So now there's an expectation that it's high definition video, and many more viewers are getting high definition video. That's more bits and more traffic, and so it takes up more bandwidth.
Yeah. Can you increase the market share of 30%? Or do you say internet is growing so hard, we're happy with a major deal?
Well, what's important to us, it's important that there's increased adoption of online in general. For video in particular, we see that there's actually, even though there's been a huge growth up until now, it's really only at the beginning. When we look at where we think video is going to go, there's still a huge amount of traffic that's going to come online. And when you hear about OTT, over-the-top video services, that's what that's about. So what we're doing is preparing the platform to be able to scale to next generation video of tomorrow.
Okay, so it has a major impact on your platform, the fact that there's a lot of more video coming out?
Yeah, absolutely. What we've done so far in this first 17 years that we've existed is we built a very highly distributed platform in order to be able to handle and serve that type of traffic with good performance and offload. But when we look at the traffic that'll come in the next 10 years, we see new technologies are going to be necessary. So we're working on technologies like hybrid HTTP UDP delivery, multicast technologies, pre-positioning, peer assist, and intelligent client software to bring it all together, because it'll really be critical for the future of video delivery.
Now, content delivery is becoming a bit a commodity. Huh? You see other players coming in like Amazon and Level 3 and all this stuff. So you have to go to more added value services, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, there's an ability to do sort of very, very basic content delivery by standing up a certain type of simple service. But the reality is to give really very good performance, especially for things like an interactive website or for live streaming video, that's actually still very, very hard and very specialized. And so that's where we've built a lot of specialized technologies over 17 years to deliver those, and it's really far more advanced than what smaller competitors are able to do.
Okay, you don't fear them?
Well, we always want to make a point of staying ahead of the curve and going to new technologies, but we're much more advanced today in terms of things like getting end users to a server that's very close to where they are, that's going to provide them good service by measuring the internet performance between end users and servers in real time. Those are types of critical fundamental technologies that we already have, but now we're looking to next generation.
Right. One of the things, of course, which is very hot is security. You're focusing very hard on security. With new services and all these things. How do you see it growing on your network, the cyber attacks and all this stuff?
Yeah, unfortunately, this is a case where we've also seen a big increase. It's maybe not a positive type of increase, but there's certainly been an increase. Yeah. We've seen that attacks are more frequent and they're getting larger and more sophisticated. If we look at major attacks on our platform, and by a major attack I mean the type that an individual, a human would have to get involved with. In 2009 it was maybe about 14 major attacks, 1 a month. I remember it was kind of an interesting event. We would say, oh, someone's being attacked, let's go look. But now by the last few years it's over 1,200 attacks per year, so it's more than 3 a day. It's not an event anymore, it's just the normal course of business.
It's the new normal.
That's the new normal.
But how do you block them? These attacks?
Well, it takes a combination of technologies. The first one is to be highly distributed. For these very highly distributed attacks that are concentrating traffic coming from all over the world, you have to have a highly distributed defense so that we can stop it before it gets to a central choke point. So the distributed network is important, the dynamic nature of it is important, but then increased use of intelligence to understand what's good traffic and what's bad traffic, block the bad traffic and let the good traffic in.
Okay. Akamai has also a lot of data visualization tools, very smart. What do you do with all the data running on your traffic, on your network, sorry?
The data, there's two primary ways that we use the data. One is that customers are demanding more and more visibility and insight into their own traffic. So if you talk, for example, about the increased adoption of online video, there's expectations now from customers that their end users are getting a cable TV-like experience. And so when there's a problem, they need to be able to debug it for that individual user. Did this user have a problem at this time? So we're working to provide more and more very fine-grained data for our customers in that way. And then the other path is the use of intelligence for products like the security set. So if we can use the data to understand, for example, across all of our customers, we've started to see some type of malicious attack. Let's be able to leverage that to block that malicious attack for all the rest of our customers.
Do you share that data?
Well, there's types of data that we have channels over which we share. In fact, some of it we share publicly. There's a quarterly State of the Internet Security report where we talk about the latest attack trends and threats. Yeah.
You're living in Paris, huh? So you got a clear view on Europe and digitalization and innovation. Some say America is innovating, China is copying, and Europe is regulating all the stuff. And there's not enough innovation in Europe itself. What's your general view on Europe and innovation types regarding Silicon Valley and other things?
So, it would be hard for me to make a comparison about what the development methodologies are, how those are different. But one thing that I do see is there's clearly, different needs in different geographies. And so there's a good question about how do we adapt our product and make it work well in the different markets where we operate. So that's one thing that we have to think about and work towards in the future. But the one clear constant across all of them is the increasing adoption of online. So that's not slowing down anywhere. Everywhere we see the desire to do more online, more on the internet, automate more things. So where we see that we fit in the world is making that experience work on this otherwise chaotic internet. Let's make it work as a business.
Is Europe lagging behind States?
In what way?
In terms of digitalization, adoption of e-commerce and online services?
I don't think so. It's hard for me to have a good view on that, but certainly I know that, as someone living in Europe, when I want to buy train tickets, when I want to go look up something that I need to do, as part of my daily life, most of the time I can do that online, and more as it's going along. So I see the internet as a growing part of my life no matter where I've lived.
Okay, great. Last question. We had Microsoft announcing the $26 billion deal for LinkedIn. What did you think at that very moment?
Well, so I don't know much about the specifics of Microsoft and LinkedIn as a deal, but what I can tell you is, so Microsoft for us actually is a very close partner, and we have a specific partnership around Azure. They have hosting and cloud services and cloud compute, and they can now add Akamai on in front to accelerate that type of experience. So, from my point of view, it's another good example where there's more and more that people want to do in an online world and in the cloud, and so meeting that challenge is the goal.
Do you think that Microsoft could buy Akamai also, or is that not on the radar today?
Well, I'm a technical guy. I don't know anything about those types of things, but how the internet works, I can tell you anything you want to know.
Okay. Thank you very much, James.
Thank you.